Hey people, it is Monday, April the 22nd. It is 4:38 in the afternoon and about 11 degrees Celsius. And not a cloud in the sky, as you can see. I am on Sherbourne Street, just a bit north of Isabella Street. And beside me on the other side is the St. Jamestown neighborhood. And as we can see, construction has resumed here on this construction site, which has been dormant for the last several months. Or something is happening anyway. It's good to see. I'm going to make my way up into the Yorkville neighborhood from here on Sherbourne. Just sort of taking a random, rather unplanned walk. I was just out enjoying the nice weather and thought, why not fire up a video? So this wasn't really planned, but that's sometimes how these videos end up getting made. And this house has definitely seen better days. I think this is part of a redevelopment proposal, which will include a new tower rising on this site while preserving some of these old heritage homes. Most of these are currently unoccupied. Actually, I'm not sure what's going on there. I don't think that's even connected to the construction site. They seem to be two separate properties. So in that case, it seems this construction site is still dormant. I'm not sure what happened there. A 50-story tower is supposed to be rising there, but not much has been going on. So maybe I'll walk down some streets I have never really walked down. This is Linden Street, although it seems to be a dead end. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get out once I get to the other end. The James Cooper House. This was relocated from its original position in order for them to construct the condo building on top. So they lifted it up and moved it over a bit from where it originally stood. But you'd never know it now. And right next door, something very similar took place with this old house in order to build this tower. This is a rental tower, though, not a condo. But they did a good job on both of those projects. And these old boarded up, derelict looking homes will also be brought back to life as part of this new development. And I believe a home in this area was also picked up and moved over. Who knew that was such a common thing, but apparently in Toronto it is. All right, now up ahead is Bloor Street, but I think I'll walk along Selby Street here. And the sun is just glaring. And the leaves are definitely starting to sprout now. Today looks greener than yesterday, and I'm sure tomorrow will look greener than today. Another week or so, and I think things will look downright bucolic. And the sun is hiding behind the buildings now, which is nice. That is the Rogers head office. Maybe one of my least favorite office complexes in the downtown. Just not a fan of the aesthetics of the building. And there's a staircase over here, which will take me down to Mount Pleasant Road, or Ted Rogers Way, whatever it's called at this end. So this is Mount Pleasant Road. See the other side of the Rogers monstrosity. And there's quite a huge difference in temperature whether you're in the shade or in the sun. It feels about 5 degrees colder here in the shade of the buildings. And this is always a bit of a tricky crossing here. I'll make my way over there eventually. Now I have to run here to make this light before these cars start moving. Definitely, probably the most awkward pedestrian crossing in the downtown. Maybe only Lakeshore Boulevard and Bathurst Street might match it. All right, now this is Charles Street. Got a random shouter. I think there are some pathways I can take that will take me over to Hayden Street. Oh, interesting. Private bike ranch. I wonder how secure that is. This fence is fairly high, but I think a determined enough person could easily get over this. I have a friend who lives in that condo in the center of the shot. Right now, pedestrian sidewalk continues. The shouter is still doing his thing. And I think this will take me to the end of Hayden Street. Got some blossoming trees. It's a good thing this gate is open, otherwise I probably would have climbed the fence if I had no other choice. Bloor Residences. This was Hayden Street. This part of Hayden Street I think I've only walked down one other time while recording. And that was at least 2 or 3 years ago. My apologies for the glaring sun. As I mentioned, there's not a cloud in the sky. All right, here we got Church Street. A new tower on the rise. Maybe I'll go. That car conveniently turned, blocking that vehicle. We got cars coming at me from every direction here. I don't know what this person is doing.
As a prop, talks about it to like girls and people.
It's always fun to see a new tower start to make an impact on the skyline. This one hasn't quite gotten there yet, but in the next few months it should be visible from further and further away. It'll eventually go up to about 50 stories. "50 stories seems to be the new norm now for most residential buildings under construction these days. And of course, some go much taller than that, even over 100 stories in one case. I think the sun is going to hide behind one of the buildings up ahead again in a moment. And there it goes. There you can see the one steadily getting taller and taller. It will eventually surpass its neighbor, One Bloor East. One Bloor East is 76 stories, and the one will be well beyond that, depending on current circumstances. It will either get up to 91 stories or 85 stories. It's not clear now what the final height will be. In any case, it'll be much taller than One Bloor East. Shops on Hayden. A 64-story building is planned for this corner. And here's Yonge Street. See the restored heritage facades that are part of the one building. And Yonge Street is pretty packed right now. I guess it is rush hour, but it's a Monday, which supposedly is not as busy as other days of the week. You wouldn't know that right now. And this just recently opened, Ballroom Bowl, sort of a upscale bowling alley experience. And I believe a new flagship Nike store will be opening in this space. This used to be the location of Nordstrom Rack. Hey, hi.
Sorry, I know that you're recording, but I was just wondering, what is that?
It's a Osmo Pocket.
Osmo Pocket?
Yeah.
You like it?
DJI. Oh, I love
4K,
it.
Everything
Yeah,
DJI,
yeah,
right?
yeah. 4K.
Osmo.
Yeah. DJI Osmo Pocket.
Respect, bro.
Yeah, right
I like
on.
that. Yo, that's fucking clutch, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
You just doing like a
Little vlog, yeah.
I got you, bro. All right, nice,
Right on.
nice, man. You take care.
You too. My camera has many fans. All right, let's cross Bloor Street.
And this week I'm only here for 3 days.
Let me get into the shade here. This time of day. Avoiding the sun is part of the recording process. And avoiding clunky looking signage also. It looks like a new Lululemon flagship store is opening on that corner. And the Apple store was also supposed to open its flagship location at the base of the One. And apparently they pulled out of the project due to many delay upon delay in getting this building built. But I'm still hoping that in the end they'll reconsider and open there after all. That space was custom made specifically for Apple. I can't imagine what other retailer would be suitable for that space, really, the way it was designed. It would have to be something pretty special. And we got random music. So this is the Bloor-Yorkville neighborhood. It's Cumberland Street, but I'm going to head over to Yorkville Avenue. Check out the progress of a few more projects in the area. Actually, I guess we can start right here. That building is making good progress. Looks quite nice so far. I think my favorite new building in the whole neighborhood, though, is around the corner here on Yorkville Avenue. Maybe even more favorite than the One. It won't be as tall, obviously, as the One. I can get a nice spot out of the sun here. And this is it. 11 Yorkville is the name of this building. And I think the reason why I like this building so much is because it reminds me of the Empire State Building. Just smaller, obviously. This will be about 62 stories, whereas the Empire State Building is 102 stories. But the massing and color scheme is very reminiscent of the Empire State Building. Of course, it doesn't have the brick and stone that the original in New York has. It's a more modern, glassy building, but it sort of mimics the appearance of it nevertheless. Some people will probably disagree and think I'm crazy, but I like it. This was once the old village of Yorkville, an independent village. Very nice library branch. And the town hall was located over there, now the site of a park. But as with many small villages on the periphery of Toronto, back in the late 19th, early 20th century, it got swallowed up by the growing city. It still retains its own identity, though. And here's another site where a landmark once stood, Eastern Sound Studio. Very well-known recording studio. Bruce Coburn, Isaac Hayes, Murray McLaughlin, Cat Stevens, Ian Thomas, all recorded. Meredith Solomon in the 60s and 70s. And I think most famously, Gordon Lightfoot recorded his album Sundown here in 1974. And Anne Murray as well. Unfortunately, that building is no longer standing. Rather charming little park here, though. And up ahead on Yorkville Avenue is the main strip of Yorkville, which in the 60s was known as a bit of a hippie haven. It was Canada's answer to Haight-Ashbury in San Francisco. Hippies flocked there from the mid to late 60s. And it had a booming music scene full of coffee houses where many well-known Canadian musicians got their start, really, including Gordon Lightfoot, as well as Neil Young and Joni Mitchell, and members of the band. And the list goes on and on. Here's another look at my maybe favorite building in the area. And a neighbor is rising right beside it, which will be a bit taller actually, but it's still mostly a hole in the ground. It'll be quite a while before that starts to make an impact on the skyline, probably another 2 or 3 years at least. Walking past the Four Seasons Hotel right now. I believe the Four Seasons Hotel chain is headquartered in Toronto. And there's a look south down Bay Street. That's a canyon of tall buildings all the way down to the shore of Lake Ontario. Along the way, you'll pass through the heart of the financial district. it's about a good 45-minute walk or so southward from here. A new luxury retailer opening here. And yet another new tower on the rise. '50s Scholar. The design is actually very nice. This building will be a great addition to the neighborhood. Of course, it's a luxury building, or high-end in any case, if not downright luxurious. Here's Davenport Road. Yeah, it's getting much warmer feeling now. I might have to unzip my hoodie. There's an Ontario Northland bus. It might be coming from my hometown, North Bay.
I've got to go drop off my...
Or maybe from Sudbury. So it's a straight shot down Bay Street to the Union Station bus terminal. Luxury apartments. And a proposal for another one here, 19 stories. This is a bizarre looking building in my opinion. Although it does have a clock tower, which maybe gives it an extra point. And there's an awesome view of the Bloor-Yorkville skyline from this vantage point. It's probably a bit better from across the street, actually, but and it's shadier on the other side of the street too. Maybe I should cross. Wonder if I can get across here. I know there's an intersection up ahead, but I might miss the best perspective of the skyline if I go any further up. The cars just keep on coming though. I thought I had my chance, but of course now cars are coming from the other direction. Abort! Toronto could get rid of half of its cars and it would still be congested. That's how bad it is. Well, that's a bit better of a view. So I don't think I'll go any further along Davenport. Let's walk along Belmont. Check out a not often seen side street here in the neighborhood. Look at this, even on this side street, the cars are just lined right up. This is truly a random walk. I'm not even sure where I'll end up. It's been going for almost 40 minutes now, though. I think the next block of Belmont up ahead is quite charming. Maybe I'll just take us up there. And now, isn't this lovely? Oh yeah? Okay. Thanks. Thanks. Oh yeah. Right around the tree. Some great old townhouses here. We'll look at these instead of all the endless rush hour traffic, using the street as a shortcut or something. These are, I would say, late 19th century. Because they stopped building these sort of row houses and townhouses of this style by early in the 20th century. Of course, they were later revived with a more modern look, which I'm not as fond of. I prefer these old classic heritage looking townhomes and row houses. This traffic is ridiculous. The people who live on this street must look outside with bewilderment. They probably never imagined when they moved here that their street would be used as a shortcut. And we're back at Yonge Street. So I think if you continue that way, Elmer Avenue will lead you onto Rosedale Valley Road. So all of these cars heading this way, I think, are coming from Rosedale Valley Road. Now we're heading south down Yonge, back towards the Yonge and Bloor.
The appointments might not be happening. There's really no opportunity to cross the street. Maybe I can run across while traffic is backed up here. Let's give it a go. Busy Canadian Tire store here. Davenport Road up ahead once again, and also where Church Street begins. And the Masonic Temple, now home of Infotech. I think there's still some shows that take place there from time to time though. And there's my favorite building again. Eventually it will be taller than most of its neighbors. And Church, I recently did a video walking along all of Church Street, starting from here all the way down to where it ends at the Esplanade down in the south end of downtown near Lake Ontario. But I think though, I'm going to start to wrap up the walk as I make my way back towards Yonge and Bloor. This is a very random, unplanned walk. But I rather enjoyed it. Sometimes it's nice to not know where you're going and just enjoy the journey. So I hope you all enjoyed it as much as I did. Leave a comment down below if so, or not. And be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And look, a new Burrito Boys is opening here. And if you'd like to support the channel, there are links in the description where you can do so via PayPal, as well as via my merch store. Or you can also support the channel by sending a super thanks, or by becoming a channel member if you prefer. And did I mention to hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any of my videos? Maybe I did. But in any case, thanks for watching, and thanks to all the channel members. And you can find me on Instagram also under KContinuum. And be sure to keep watching because, as always, I will continue.